Welcome to section 2. In this section, we will be discussing principle 1 of COBIT 5, and that is meeting stakeholder needs. You might recollect this was about the reason for enterprises to exist. They mainly exist to create value for the stakeholders by maintaining a balance between three things: the realization of benefits, optimization of risk, and use of resources, which is mainly the investment. And we also seen that COBIT 5 provides all required processes and enablers to support this business value creation by the use of IT. And there was also this concept of the goals cascade, beginning with the stakeholder needs, translated to high-level enterprise goals, those again converted to IT-related goals, and then eventually mapped to processes and other enablers. So what we have already observed is, or acknowledged, is enterprises exist mainly to create value for the stakeholders. And value creation will be a key governance objective. And what is value creation? We already understood that earlier. It's about the three things to be balanced: the benefits, cost, and risk. So it's about realizing benefits at an optimal cost of resources while optimizing risk. So for example, if benefits are good, but the investment or the resource cost is high, then it can diminish the value. On the other hand, if the cost is less or the resource use is less, that is, the benefits are good, and if the risks are also high, then it can also diminish value. Benefits usually financial, but it can be non-financial as well. And that's when it becomes difficult to put a metric to it. And commercial enterprises, normally public, private, government, they have usually financial benefits always listed. And then we have the not-for-profit organizations who normally don't have financial benefits, but they do have financial information to be managed and finances to be managed. Enterprises have all kinds of stakeholders, internal, such as employees, management, executives, board, etc. And they have external stakeholders like users, customers, suppliers, partners, and so on. And value creation can become conflicting because every individual or every group of stakeholders, such as an IT function versus a non-IT function, may seek other values or different values. Employees, for example, may seek the value of growing their careers versus top executives might seek value of revenue increase or profit and so on. Suppliers and partners might be looking at improving their reputation with certain customers and, of course, growing their profit as well. And therefore, these can create conflicts when collaboration is attempted or cooperation is attempted. Governance, one key statement here, which you need to remember as well for the exam, it's not just those evaluate, direct, and monitor engagements, but it is also about negotiating and deciding among different stakeholders' value interests. And that's due to the conflicting inputs coming from various stakeholders regarding value. And this means that the governance system as a whole should consider all stakeholders when they make those decisions which require balancing the benefit, risk, and resource usage. Some questions that can arise during these governance discussions or value discussions could be: for whom are the benefits? Who will bear the risk? What resources do we need? We have this picture here summarizing the governance aspect. So we see the stakeholder needs come in. They drive the value creation, which is the main governance objective. And we also know now that governance is about balancing the three components of it: benefits realization, risk optimization, resource optimization. And again, governance, a very basic definition of governance from other literature is it's about how an organization directs and monitors itself. So value was one concept in that principle, and other one, you might recollect, it's about the goals cascade. If you look at this picture on the right here, give you an overview of the goals cascade. At the top, we have stakeholder drivers, meaning even before stakeholders come with their needs, there will be some drivers in the environment which will decide their needs. So those are the drivers which really influence the stakeholder needs of benefits realization, risk optimization, and resource optimization. These stakeholders' needs cascade to enterprise goals, which further cascade to IT-related goals, which further cascade to enabler goals. And there are 7 enablers. However, we'll focus more on the process enabler goals in particular when we look at some examples. And however, we are going to cover all the 7 enablers in detail in this course. But from a goals cascade perspective, we will look at the process enabler goals, which are mapped to the IT-related goals. But that's in other sections. In the COBIT guide, the main guide, these stakeholder needs translated to enterprise goals, those are in Appendix D. And the enterprise goals themselves are shown in Figure 5. We're going to look at all of these as well in this course afterwards in other sections. The goals cascade from enterprise goals to IT goals are in Appendix B. The IT goals themselves are listed in Figure 6. And then lastly, IT goals cascading to enabler goals are shown in Appendix C, and the IT goals themselves are in Figure 6. We will also have somewhere in this course, I'll show you all the enabler goals as well, particularly the process enabler goals for the 37 processes in COBIT 5. On the left, we have a few things to understand about the goals cascade. Every business, every enterprise has its own situation, its own challenges and opportunities, meaning its own context. And these are usually determined by its own internal situation, such as its own culture, risk appetite, its own resource capability, the kind of infrastructure they have, and so on, but also the external factors, such as the market conditions, the political climate, the economy, other things. Normally, these are known as the pestle factors: political, economical, social, technological, legal, and environmental. And then while these factors are always existing, stakeholders will have their own needs, and these should be converted to some sort of an actionable strategy or enterprise goals. Therefore, COBIT 5, a goals cascade, does translate these stakeholder needs into specific, actionable, and customized enterprise goals. And then those are further translated to IT goals, and those further cascaded to enabler goals. In the extensive COBIT literature, you will see the enabler goals for all the 7 enablers. But in this course, particularly in the COBIT Foundation, we'll see a list of only the process enabler goals, which are actually the process goals for the 37 processes. And we'll also see afterwards that COBIT has its own unique list of 17 stakeholder needs, 17 enterprise goals, and 17 IT goals. But then every organization may have its own number. It need not be always 17. The 17 is just a guidance for organizations to use that template, or they need not use it. They may have their own list of these goals cascades. And stakeholder needs, even though they are transformed into the strategy or the enterprise goals, but stakeholder needs themselves originate due to the drivers to those stakeholders. For example, external or new technology coming in may influence the stakeholders' needs, and the technology coming in is a stakeholder driver. The environment, the political environment, could be another stakeholder driver, bringing in their own stakeholder needs of, for example, a change in political climate could create more cost risk for the business. Conflicts such as wars, etc., is another external factor, and that may need to stakeholder needs changing. Some new needs may emerge, for example, enhanced information security or something like that, even physical security. So the goals cascade allows organizations to set specific goals at these levels, the 3 levels, the enterprise, IT, and enabler, based on the stakeholder needs. And when this happens, it'll support the alignment of the stakeholder needs to the enterprise goals, to the IT-related goals, and eventually to the enabler goals. And under enabler, we have specific IT solutions, because one of the enablers is services, applications, and infrastructure. So therefore, eventually everything maps quite nicely to the actual IT solutions and services.